Hi everybody, it's Julie. Welcome to Hello Monday. Today I'm going to be making a birthday card that has a fall theme to it, and I'm going to be using some of the images from the Thankful stamp set from the Essentials by Ellen Holiday 2015 release. I thought it would be super fun to combine these images in new ways, and I wanted to do some watercolor work with the distress stains. And I'm just so crazy about these stains. I can't get enough of them. I love the effect on ruby red rubber, and I thought I'd see how they perform on the clear photopolymer stamps, and I'm very pleased to say that they work pretty awesome on the clear stamps just as well as they do on the rubber stamps. So I'm just creating a different rainbow effect here by using the cracked pistachio, and then I added at one end of this little pod image I added the peeled paint, and then I'm going to add dusty concord. And the nice thing about it is that when you spread this stain on there, it's not like ink from an ink pad or a marker. You don't have to go spritz it with water. It is the perfect consistency for getting this watercolored effect. So it works awesome on solid stamps too. So I'm having so much fun with them. But I did get a little bit carried away there. I actually squeezed that cracked pistachio too hard when I was applying the color, and it came gushing out of the bottle. So you do have to be aware, these stains are very fluid, and if you squeeze the bottle, the stuff is going to come gushing out. So you just want to rub the dabber top gently against your stamp, and then go ahead and make your impressions. So I'm just rotating the paper, and I'm going directly across from each impression so that I get nice even spacing of this pod image all the way around the little tiny flower that I stamped with the fossilized amber. And as it starts to dry, it will look even better. But right now, because it is wet, it's not quite as pretty as it's going to look as it dries. So hang with me, okay? So once that was done, I had a really nice big flower that actually doesn't exist in the set, and I'm going to start putting in some filler images. So I did let the first impressions dry a little bit because I didn't want the next images I was adding to kind of muddy up the ink. So I did let it dry just a little bit, and then I'm going to come in and continue stamping more images and just fill things in. And I'm just, like I did with the first steps, I'm just rubbing that dabber top across the stamp image and applying nice pressure to the watercolor paper. And I love using the Canson 140-pound watercolor paper for this. And if you find that your images didn't get enough color on them, or they didn't bleed out as much as you wanted to, or to get that watercolory effect, you can just come in with a water brush and kind of spread the color around a little bit, because the distress stains are water reactive. So now, after everything is completely dry, I wanted to add some spatters, and I'm using the distress paint to get that effect. And I like to dab some of that onto an acrylic block and then hold it over my project and then just flick it off the block with my water brush. And this helps me get a very controlled spatter, very much where I want it, instead of just going all over the place and all over me. So I decided when I was done, when I looked at the image and kind of held it out from, at arm's length, I noticed that where I stamped that leaf and where I had my berries, it just kind of looked visually like this big stick was going right through the flower. And so I wanted to counteract that by adding a little bit more color there, and kind of the illusion of more leaves and foliage around the flower. So that's what I was doing right there. I took some of the peeled paint and some of the dusty concord and just added some little splashes and puddles of it around there to kind of balance that out, instead of it looking like this big stick or twig is running right through the flower. So now I've stamped the happy birthday using Label Love by Altenew with some archival jet black onto just some scrap white that I had laying around. And I decided to cut it apart and stagger it instead of having one big long label going across the card. I thought it looked visually much better to have those two kind of a little bit wonky on the front panel there. So the watercolor paper has been mounted to a base card, and that's just a Neenah Solar White 110-pound standard A2 card. And then I'm going to go ahead and start adding some sequins for just a little bit of sparkle there. So I took the 3 different sizes of the Pretty Pink Posh sparkling clear sequins, and I just kind of planned out where I wanted them to go, and then I'm just swiping them through a little puddle of the multi matte medium, and that stuff will dry clear and hold those sequins in place perfectly. And there you can see my watercolored flower that I made out of the smaller images in the stamp set. I thought it turned out super cool. All the supplies are available at ellenhutson.com, and you can also see more still shots and further details at the Classroom blog. Thanks for watching.